Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Mrs. PG Patmagauri, working as an assistant professor in Faculty of Engineering, Avinash Lingam University, Coimbatore. Today we are going to discuss about marketing environment. A marketer has to understand how various external environmental forces impact organization decisions. The response of the marketer to changes in the marketplace depend on this understanding. Successful marketers and organization are the ones who anticipate, plan, execute strategies to meet these environmental changes. The important fact of organization and industry functioning is mainly depend on external environment. Today we are going to discuss about the external environmental factors in detail. Environmental factors. A systematic approach to environmental analysis and diagnosis involves understanding of the following factors: socio-economic factors, competition, technology, government policies, suppliers. Now we examine each of this in a detailed manner. Socio-economic factors. Socio-economic factors in a country determine the extent and level of industrialization, as they influence the demand for a product or service at any given point of time. Sociological factors. It refers to changes in population profiles and also shift in the value system in a society. Changes in population profiles also following demographic changes, geographical locational changes, changes in value system. Demographic changes subdivided into age composition, population and sex, occupation and literacy profile. A good marketer needs to understand the age composition in a country. This will help him decide his optimal marketing mix and take strategic decisions to enter or not into a particular market segment. If the youth population is very high, it leads to develop their products and promotion for this group. Example: bike, mobile phones, fashion garments, trendy accessories, etc. Population and sex. Besides of age, it is important to break up population in a sex-wise and study the role of women also needed. Number of male and female ratio also important factor for any product marketing. Today an Indian women role is also changing. So more and more women have taken to work and professions, and we can observe there is an increase in number of working couples. So it is very high in metro and urban cities. The women has less time to available to do household work. It leads the potential market for cooking appliances, washing machine, vacuum cleaner and ready to eat food. Occupation. The occupational profile of population also affects the media choice and product demand. Example: a shirt or suiting exclusively for the professionals. Sales increases when advertised in magazines like Business India, India Today, etc. Literacy profile. This is another dimension of population changes with a market needs to address him too. Changes in literacy profile will imply more demanding customers. It will also lead better reading habits and hence higher circulation of newspapers and magazines. Literacy will necessarily make the marketer look for primitive methods of communication like mobile vans, mass demonstration, media channels, etc. Based on the literacy profile in that area, we change our marketing strategy. Geographical changes. When a significant population moves from one zone to another, one city to another, rural to urban, are the major environmental factor which will not only determine the marketing focus but also other aspects of marketing. like choice of test marketing section, locations of warehouses, and methods of reaching out to these areas. The table shows geographical shifts in Indian population have for 5 years from 2010 to 2014. The number of towns, the urban population in that town, urban population as percentage of total population are listed in the table. The above table shows that there has been a gradual shift of population from rural to urban areas. For a long time in India, there has been a significant migration of population from all over the country to its commercial capital like Bombay, Chennai, etc. Changes in value systems. Changes in value systems is a sociological change that occurs over a period of time. Values are the beliefs which are preserved by the society. They are music, folklores and stories. There are also core values which really changes over a period of time. Example, strong family bondage and love for the family as a core value has been major driving factor in Indian market. The marketer has used this to promote his product. Example, the Vicks VapoRub story in advertisement. The child with the cold and mother taking care of them. Economic factors. The economic environment affects the demand structures of any industry. In order to assess the impact of these factors, it is necessary that the marketer examine the following factors in details. First one, the gross national product. Second, per capita income. Third, balance of payment position. Fourth, industry life cycle. Stages in the life cycle are recovery, boom, recession and depression. Fifth, trends in the prices of goods and services. Sixth, fiscal policies and prime rate of interest charged by commercial bank. The above factors can be an opportunity or threat to a firm. Example, if the prices of raw material, labor and utilities like electricity are showing inflationary trends, the firm have little options but to pass on this hike to the customer in the form of increased prices. If the firm is an competitive industry, the customer may resist or even shift his choice to the competitive product. In the same time, the industry is in monopolistic market, it might not face any customer resistance. A marketer needs to understand the impact of these economic factors on his company's products and services. Competition. The firm should extend their competitive analysis, which includes substitutes along with the direct competitions. The main objective of such analysis is to assess and predict each competitor's response to changes in the firm's strategy and industry conditions. This analysis will hopefully ensure the firm emerging as a competitive organization and decides who should pick up as its major rival in the industry. The figure provides a framework for competitive analysis. Motivators, current future goals leads to current and future strategy, leads to satisfaction with current level performance and factors that will lead to maximum retaliation. So, these are influenced by the competitors. Forecasting potential competitors is a difficult task, but it will provide a strongest insight into the below areas. Firms not in the industry likely to overcome entry barriers, particularly at a low cost. Firms who derive strategy from being in the industry. Example, soda water manufacturer getting to flavored soda manufacturing, thus getting the synergy from diversification. Firms for whom competing in the industry is an obvious extension of the corporate strategy. Example, an automobile manufacturer marketing spare parts and competing spare parts manufacturer. Experience reveals that in many such cases, user performance is for original equipment's manufacturer parts. Customers or suppliers who may integrate backward or frontward. Firms often integrate in such a way to drive economics of sales and also to ensure fuller utilization of capacity. Example, cable manufacturer firm getting into the power generation business, or a gear manufacturer setting up a forging shop. Such integration is possible and competitive position was slightly altered by the suppliers or customers. Apart from the above, it is also necessary to identify weakness in the strength of the competitions. Example, a firm strength may be a excessive dealer network, but if it is not able to supply the goods on time and as desired by the dealers, it may find its rival from gaining ground and market share. Dealers may lose companies' capabilities to supply and may start stocking and pushing competitors' products. Thus, an analysis of competition is crucial for not only evolving competitive strategy but also strengthening a firm capabilities. Besides of above, it is necessary to identify the weakness and strength of the competition industry. Thus, an example, competition industry may good in networking with dealers but not good in punctual delivery. Thus, an analysis of competition is critical not only evolving competition strategy but also for strengthening a firm capabilities. Technology. The technological development in the industry creates an opportunity for a marketer to develop new product. The customer also stands to benefit from the new products. Example, in an Indian automobile industry have the tremendous change launching new vehicle with the use of latest technology. Technological developments are greatly influenced by government policies and industries. In terms of technological developments are greatly influenced by government policies and industries response in terms of investment in R&D. These developments may affect a firm's raw material, packaging, operational products and services. Technological developments in packaging and plastic industry has brought into new packaging style. It reduced cost of the packaging, attractive and more convenient packing. These technological changes lead in shortening of the product life cycle and create new sets of customers' expectation as well. Invariable, it leads to reduce the maturity phase of the products and increase the product shoot to growth phase. Government policies. Governments all over the world are an important aspects of their economy and even in the so-called free economy. Example, in India, government deciding the rules for foreign private investments, export and import policy and taxes. Regulation in advertisement for the specific product like cigarettes, pan masala, liquor, etc. A marketer needs to not only understand these policy but also the political philosophy and ideologies of major political groups and individuals. Suppliers. The suppliers to the firm can also alter the competitive position and marketing capabilities. They are raw material suppliers, energy suppliers, suppliers of labor and capital. Relationship between the suppliers and the firm epitomizes a power equation between them. This equation is based on industry conditions and extent to which each of them is dependent on the other. The buyer's firm is monopoly or an oligopoly position and buys large volumes relative sellers' sales. The buyer's firm can easily switch its vendors as it faces few switching costs. The buyer's firm earns low profit and hence has a pressure to lower its purchasing cost. The buyer's firm possesses real threats of backward integration. The supplier's product or service is unimportant to the quality of buyer's finished products or service. The buyer's firm has full information on seller's industry. Techniques for environmental scanning. To understand the knowledge of the environmental factors is important. Apart from that, the ability to forecast the environment changes in marketing is more important for any marketer. Forecasting skills are more important. Verbal and written informations are facilitate the forecasting abilities. Sources of verbal information includes radio and television reports, firms' employees like peer groups, subordinates and supervisors, customers, financial institutions, consultants, etc. Written information is available through trade and industry journals, business magazine and newspapers. Governmental publications are good source of information. Another techniques for environmental scanning is to create an appropriate marketing information system and also to periodically conduct market research. SPAR approach. Integrating environmental forces into strategic decisions through a novel approach called SPAR, systematic probing and identification of the relevant environment, is the essence of Killen and Newman's recommendation to a strategic. According to the authors, this approach reduces the risk of overlooking potentially important environmental factors and may seem tedious at times. The probing and identification is extended to variables that have clear operational meaning to the managers. The aim of this approach is not to forecast environmental factors' behavior, but is to flag the relevant environment and spell out its potential impact on identified operations. The steps involved in SPAR are: create possible iterations through a marketing mix which sets out detailed list of environmental variables and the strategic marketing competitions and the strategic marketing components. Identify these impact linkages between environmental variables and other strategic marketing components. The effect on each component over each factor is considered. For example, the impact on technology in the form of automatic teller machine ATM is clearly visible on the banking industry. The impact of the external variable is visible in the electronics and computer appliances industry. The impact linkages reveal clusters when arrayed in the SPAR matrix. These clusters are relevant to the environmental factors will influence all other components in an industry. They make the attention to the marketer and other decision makers in the organization. Scenario building. Another approach in the environmental scanning is scenario building. In this process, decision maker who has analyzed his decisions which leads to take right final decision. The steps involved in this techniques are: stage 1, analyze of the decision. Example, the marketer of the domestic appliances may take a decision to launch a microwave oven. In this stage, marketer analyze the terms of financial investment, human resources required, dealer network, addition of plant and machines, evaluating the vendors. Stage 2, identification of key decision factors. In this stage, identify all the key variables that have contributed to the decision. Continuing the above example, microwave oven, decision maker needs to list all the relevant factors like market share of the firm in the appliances industry, other modern products like washing machine, dishwashers and vacuum cleaners, condition of economy and competition, etc. Stage 3. Keying the societal factors. A very important variable in marketing is societal factor, that is the demographic changes, value system and analysis of the social subsystems like family and the influence of reference group on customer decision making. Above example, microwave oven, the marketer now need to examine the factors like distribution of Indian population, its demographic concentration, literacy rates, nuclear family and its influence on purchases of similar time-saving products. Stage 4. Analysis of each of the key variables separately. This will involve collection of relevant data from several secondary sources. The data so collected is now extrapolated and further evidence, if any, is assembled to support scenario. While conclude the session, we saw how some of the industry leaders lost their competitive advantage because they failed to perceive these changes. Several techniques from verbal and informal to more systematic and written are available to the marketer to scan the environment in order to identify market opportunities. Tools like SPARE and scenario building force marketers to think through and identify factors that are more likely to be impacting organization decisions. The identification of these impact linkages is built up the bridge between the forecast and strategic action plans. The techniques like Delphi, extrapolation and regression analysis also used for forecasting environmental changes. Thank you.